and it's 100-something degrees because it's 4th of July weekend. I forgot that. It was 4th of July weekend. It was like the worst time in the world to be stranded in the middle of the desert.
All right, so it was 2012.
Our first adventure into real desert racing. The 2012 HDRA Fireworks 250 in Reno.
First year that we ran both the trucks. First race that we've ever gone out of town besides Laughlin.
We built a second truck. We had the F100. I built my Ford Ranger. We're like, all right, 2-truck team. We're gonna paint them the same. This is gonna be great. We're gonna take on a big Reno race.
And we didn't really realize how far Reno was from San Diego at the time.
It's time for the big leagues. Let's go try and run some big races.
Yeah, check a map, maybe look at Google Maps real quick and be like, oh man, it's 12 hours, we should probably break this up.
We left at 7 o'clock at night, got 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was falling asleep while we were driving, like deer crossing the road. Like literally like the word, like just a bunch of red flags, like, hey, y'all should just go home. We're like, no, but we're determined. We're not gonna give up. We're gonna get there.
Slept for 3 hours-ish in the motorhome and then got up and pre-ran.
Chris and I both rode dirt bikes at the time. We're like, all right, yeah, let's go do a lap on the dirt bikes.
We made it to mile marker 10, maybe.
5 miles, 7 miles, I don't know what it was, and I got a rear flat tire.
So we didn't bring any spare tubes or tires or anything with us.
We're like, nah, I'm just gonna ride on this flat. This loop can't be too bad. And the way the course was, it was like a clover leaf setup or whatever.
We weren't gonna go backwards on the race course, so we just kept going, and he finished the entire rest of that 50-mile loop or whatever it was, or 80-mile loop on a rear flat tire.
Sign number 2, I guess, would be to turn around. Anyways.
So that was just the start of this whole debacle of a weekend. Got through pre-running and then went to qualifying. And they qualified us in the race course. It was in this kind of like a pit area where they dozed out a course for us to run.
First time we ever qualified, we were juiced about this. We're like, all right, cool, we really get to get out there. We're racing against each other. Like, they were filming it. It was gonna be like a TV show. There was the trophy trucks were there. Like, all right, let's show these guys what we can do.
I qualified before Nick, we're nose to tail. And so I took off and got down to the valley and was doing the run. And they were qualifying us every 30 seconds or so apart. Well, the course came into a section where it passed each other real close. Well, it was super dusty. There's no water trucks or anything.
The valley where they were qualifying was super dusty, and it's like they had just bladed it, and all the rocks came out when they bladed. And so we're dodging rocks and boulders, and I think I was the only truck in that entire desert that had 35-inch tall tires. Everybody else had way bigger tires.
And we're going, and I look up, and Nick is right on the same line that we are.
I don't know who was in the wrong line, probably Chris, but we're coming head on with each other because I think he left right before me.
Playing chicken, we dodge each other, and
we almost went head on with each other on the qualifying lap, which, sign number, whatever it was.
Luckily we didn't hit, nothing like that. And I finished my qualifying run perfectly fine or whatever. And then Nick, he hit the finish line jump.
We wanted to be cool for the cameras and look all sweet. So I gave her the beans off the lip and landed right in this boulder field.
And just skied the thing, landing, broke the transmission out of the truck, broke the exhaust out of the truck, totally demolished this thing. It's yo man, we're qualifying, what are you doing?
The most god-awful noise came from underneath the car, and it's not really wanting to go forward anymore, so I get put in a strap, pull back. We put the truck up on the trailer, and we had broke the tail housing off the trans with the rocks, and then the Y pipe, which we broke the catalytic converters out of it, and yes, it still had the factory catalytic converted Y pipe in there and everything, and it was all smashed up and in there, and we're like, oh man.
That truck had to go, you gotta find a transmission shop and a exhaust shop in town to fix all that truck and get it all ready to go.
Can't give up, gotta figure this out, right? And so my dad takes the truck on the trailer, he's like, I'll go find something. It's Reno, it's a town, and it was Thursday or Friday. It's I'll figure this out. So we go into town, and my dad finds this transmission shop, which luckily was also a muffler shop. And we had talked, this guy must have seen us from a mile away. We came in and he saw what was going on. Oh, y'all trying to go racing, huh? Oh, looks like y'all need some exhaust work and this, or what was it? This C4 bolt-on tail housing, which was exactly what I needed. I was like, oh, my dad's like, hey, I think this guy wants $700 or $800 to fix all this. I'm like, well, we're here. We got to do it. So we got Hillbilly Joe over there fixing our truck, getting it all put together for us because we didn't have any tools with us and he wouldn't let us work in his shop. Patch the truck together, whatever, get it all going. We're all right, we're in the clear, we're gonna go racing. So we're good. we're gonna go racing. Everything's fixed, we qualified, we got all the bad is out.
Race day, we took off and I didn't realize just how rocky that course was going to be because they had been blading it, because it was a fresh race course. Never raced out there. It was on Roger Norman's property, and Carlos had spent the last like month or 2 months out there in a dozer just moving dirt, and we didn't realize we brought the wrong vehicles to this race course. We should have brought 4-wheel drive Ultra 4 cars. Oh, super soft, super rocky. It was bad. Like, we didn't bring enough spares. We didn't bring enough anything, you know? So we got out there and the truck was carbureted at the time, just running like crap, just on and off throttle. And we're like super gnarly uphills and everybody's getting stuck, and like,
we were chatting with each other on the radio the whole time. Like, this hill climb sucks. All right, yeah, I made it up. All right, you made it up. Cool. So we're just chatting with each other. Like, all right, we're just going to get through this race together. Like, this is going to be fun. And we had only pre-ran like the first loop, like first 30 miles of the 100-mile lap or whatever it was.
Everybody's getting stuck, and like, I think I have in-car somewhere of like me and my buddy Chase halfway up this hill, and the thing just dies on us because the floats are all flooded. Everything's just bad. Anyway, we got the truck running. Nick had passed me at the time.
I think I was ahead of him. No, I was behind him. I don't know. Anyways,
we got to mile marker 32, and there was a huge bottleneck.
First time to mile marker 32?
First time to mile marker 32. Yeah, that's all we made it on that course, was mile marker 32. And there was a huge bottleneck. And during pre-running, we're like, hey, this is gonna be an issue. Like, we knew exactly where it was gonna happen, and sure enough, it happened.
Brandon Arthur was there, and like the Deacons were there, and like all these guys were all stuck on this hill, and like everybody's backed up, and we're just sitting there, and it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside, and like I think like the rover, like the recovery guy rolled his Bronco, and so he was like walking through the desert. We gave him all of our water, which probably wasn't smart. I had my father-in-law riding with me at the time, and he was like, no, we got to give him all the water. I'm like, yeah, we're also like in the middle of Nevada. Like, maybe we should save some for us. Yeah, which was kind of sketch. So we sit there and we wait forever. We're watching everybody get drug up the hill, and we caught like word through the radio that like they were gonna like reroute everybody around the loop that we were on. And we're like, well, shoot, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. Like, we got to figure out at least how to get back. So we start trying to drive like through like these like big rolling hills of Nevada, like grassy plains, like the type of stuff you see like in the movies, like some wild, like some Western film. And like, I swear, we probably went like 2 miles, and all of a sudden my truck just starts popping and sputtering and cutting out. Like, same thing, like we had just put this truck together, like it's hodgepodge. Had a sweet paint job, but it was hodgepodge. The rest of it, I mean, I had to stock cats, for Christ's sake. Anyways, it pops and sputtered, and the injectors ended up, we found out later that the injectors were clogged. So Chris being there, hooked a tow strap to me, and he towed me through like, I don't know, 20 miles of like sketchy rolling hill Nevada, like farmlands, like going through like people's fences and stuff. Because at this point we're like, screw the race, screw everything. I think there's a highway this way.
Hooked up the tow strap. I towed him like 20 miles to the road.
We found some highway where we finally got like cell phone reception. We call back to the pits. We're like, hey guys, we're here. I think the town was like, I think it was like Stagecoach or something like that.
Called for pit, and we sat underneath the dozer for like 3 or 4 hours waiting for our chase trucks.
And it's 100-something degrees because it's 4th of July weekend. I forgot that. It was 4th of July weekend. It was like the worst time in the world to be stranded in the middle of the desert.
It was an adventure for sure, and it's one of those, 2012, so we're many years into it, and I still remember that entire situation very well. So it was good.
It really should have been discouraging for us to go off-road racing, but that was 2012. What was that, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago?
Wouldn't trade it for anything else?
Absolutely not. Would not trade it.
Yeah, that's our Reno story. Yeah, no, we had like nice, like affordable off-road cars, and then we build these big dumb things. I've only driven it 6 times.
The rest of the time it just takes space.
Yeah.
And every hour you get in.
Yeah, and it's like you can never just like, oh no, let's hose it off and drive it. Like, no, that little thing in the back of your head's like, well, the brake pads, well, the fuel filters. Oh, well, the fuel pump should probably get looked at. Oh, the injector. Well, we got the whole fuel system out. Might as well just pull all the plumbing out of the car. Like, I hate off-road racing.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that story. Now, if you've been racing for a while and would like to share your story, please reach out to us in the links provided and help us achieve our goal of spreading racing stories to those outside the race car.